Jimmy Brown, Brownstone Custom Cabinetry. Today I want to talk about distressing a tabletop to make it look like an antique. What we have here is a nice pine tabletop that we're going to distress, so it's coming in at around 1870. We're going to color it to an appropriate aged pine look, but we're also going to give it some of the nicks and bangs and beat ups that you would expect to see over 130, 150 years of life. So one of the things that I like to do when I'm distressing a tabletop is sort of think about the things that would have happened to it if the table was reasonably well cared for and was able to make it this far. In that situation, I don't want to necessarily see a whole lot of table saw marks or tool marks of tools that wouldn't have been around when the table was supposed to have been created. But what I would like to see is the things that would happen over time in a reasonable home. So the things that you would think would happen was somebody with maybe a tool belt, not a tool belt, but something on like a purse or a clip cell phone would knock up against the side of the table, causing maybe a chip or a bump. Things would be dropped on the tabletop and like the side of a plate, so you get a little bit of a corner of a plate in it, coffee mugs and things of that nature. What you don't want to see is like the fact that somebody sat here and gouged out with a punch or something to that effect. So try to keep your work done over the entire surface area and try to be very logical about the way that you do it. Don't necessarily worry so much about randomness, and less is more. Some of the tools that you're going to need to do a distressing, you definitely need a hammer to sort of simulate those bumps and the hits onto the side of the table. I like to sort of file out maybe some of those knocks so they don't look as sharp, sand them a little bit so it looks like they've been rubbed smooth for ages. That gouge from the coffee cup can be adequately explained with this half-inch or quarter-inch gouge. And then some of the other tools just to give some unique markings that you would expect. Try not to use the same tool too much, because then it'll look like, why did somebody take a pickaxe to the table? Who let their kid take a pickaxe? So it's those type of things that you need to sort of think about. Two things that you don't like to see on a distressed table, though, is writing. Even though that happens in real life, it would be the thing that would make you think, you walk past that piece of furniture and go to one that didn't have that on it, and when you were buying it from an antique shop. And the last thing is round objects. Now, a round object is very much something that you would see happen to a table over time. Think about somebody putting a hot skillet on the top of a tabletop, or a glass that left a ring. But for some reason, to most people, this does not seem like something they're willing to live with. It's something that they try to remove. So, in the distressing process, the corners are going to get knocked up on the table. So you just go ahead and give it a couple of dings, nothing big. And I'll also be posting some pictures of some actual antiques that I have purchased. They look good, they have the right colorization, and I use them when I'm distressing tables to sort of showcase what 130 years actually does look like in a house that's reasonably well built. You know, you're not going to see any of these sharp edges survive over that amount of time. So you knock them. This is a burnishing tool. I like to use that just to sort of give that round edge a little bit more play. Again, we're gonna sit back on this tabletop and give it a little bit of loving care. Everything shouldn't be the same. There's a bit of randomness to it, for sure. That coffee cup went down. Where would it go down? Somewhere in the reach of a person. You see that again, maybe here. But you don't want to see that all over the table. You know, this was not an abused table. It was just one that lived. And now, a couple of more dings and bumps and bruises. Now, this is a white pine top. You know you're going to see, you're not going to see so much of this. How do we bring this distressing out to really give it a look? And how do we also age it? One of the best things you could use, and what a lot of the old timers use, was what a lot of the old timers used was roofing tar. And in the next video, I'll apply some roofing tar to this. We're going to make those dings, pops, bangs sort of stick out so that we get exactly what we want to see. And then we'll put on cherry to sort of simulate that pumpkin look that white pine gets over, 70 or 100 years. Again, this is Jimmy Brown with Brownstone Custom Cabinetry, and thank you for watching.